What is happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video we're going to be taking a throwback to 2007 for the Transformers animated Deluxe class Ratchet. Now this is actually my first and only animated figure that I own in my entire collection, and up until recently I didn't even know I had this. I believe I bought this as part of a huge Michael Bay job lot a few years back and literally didn't even know what it was, so just tossed it in a storage bin until I rediscovered it today and was like, my goodness me, I literally had a hidden gem all this time, as I've been wanting to pick up some of those Transformers animated figures for so long, especially considering that we're set to see more of them in the Transformers Legacy Evolution toy line. So today we're going to be taking a look here at animated Ratchet, not a figure that I'd like to kickstart this throwback series with, but still a very nicely done looking figure. And one thing which shocked me about this was just how well built and how accurate it is to the original source material. Now animated was slightly before my time. I believe it came out around about the 2007 movie time, so I actually didn't get into Transformers until Dark of the Moon, so completely missed the boat on all of these toys. But I remember seeing them kind of stacked up in Woolworths. Here in the UK we used to have a store called Woolworths, and they had some pretty cool box art. Now as we take a look here at Deluxe Class Ratchet, this was how he originally came packaged. Very solid. Now it does look a little bland, but that is just how the character appeared in the show. We do get some decent lifeline detailing here along the side. Everything about this is chock-a-block. I mean, there are no gaps, there's no hollow pieces. He just looks so sick, and I love the transparent blue plastic we have for the windscreen. You literally wouldn't be able to think this thing could transform from a first glance. It looks that impressive. Love the detailing here at the front, and he has proper pinned on wheels, which well over a decade still allow him to roll along the ground with absolute ease, which is just incredible. Now as far as a comparison goes, I thought this would be quite interesting. Here we have him alongside what is now our Studio Series Voyager Ironhide, the next mold that we'll undoubtedly see for a future Ratchet. And as you guys can see, this is an old Deluxe, and there really isn't much in the scale at all. It's quite crazy to think that this is now our Voyager, whereas a few years back, this was our standard for Deluxe class. I mean, who knows what type of scaling we'll see in the next 10 years, but yeah, I thought that one would be pretty interesting. Now, this guy did come with, I believe, 4 accessories. Considering this was a part of a job lot, I don't think I received any of them, which is unfortunate. I think he came with like a spanner, a screwdriver, a can opener, and I'm not entirely sure of the other one, but he does have a few built-in weapons, which we'll see more of in robot mode. And again, oh my goodness, look at that. We actually do get some interior seat details. Wicked. This guy is so cool. Now, we're going to very quickly go through the transformation, as it is quite simplistic. So, to kickstart things off, you're just going to want to lift this backpack up. I do believe this here is spring loaded. Yes, it is. Wow, check that out for a Deluxe class. Pretty impressive. We can then take the legs, detach those and straighten those out. We can now flip out our feet. I'd love to know down in the comment section below if any of you guys still own some of these Transformers animated figures in the collection. And if you do, how do you rate them? I mean, do you think that they do still hold up impeccably well by today's standards? I mean, for this being my first one, I've got to be honest and say it's built tremendously. We can then lock the chest in, but before we do that, I think we actually have to take the shoulders and hinge these sections here out, extend that out like that, and then fold this panel out, rotate this section here around, and then do the same here for this side. So bring that down. Very stiff joints as well, and I'm trying not to break him as he's pretty old. We'll then want to take this section, bring it to the back, and I believe the chest should just lock in. And how do we activate the head? Do we just simply pull it out? I'm not too sure how that head's supposed to shoot out. Is there a release button here at the back? Oh, actually, I think this comes down, and then it should maybe trigger spring-loaded mechanism. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's not working. Oh, it does. Bang! So there we have animated Ratchet's head sculpt. So very cool. Kind of mech-alive, or I guess I should say automorphing. But there we have the animated Ratchet more or less transformed up into his robot mode. And again, wow, what a sick looking figure, and so big for a Deluxe class by today's standards. Now, we're just going to get stuck straight into it. So here we have the animated Ratchet design, and very accurate to how he originally appeared back in the old series. I mean, if they were to just basically give us these characters again, or maybe reissue them, I think that collectors would lap them up. I know I would, as like I said previously, I missed out on all of these, and this is so cool. Now, I do believe this version of Ratchet was a big old grump, hence why he's got such a sad face, and I believe he loses this crest when in battle against Lockdown in a throwback sequence where I believe he's trying to rescue RC. I could be wrong. Sadly, we do get a bit of paint scuffing there for the chin, but some very nice light piping. I mean, damn, these old figures were so terrific. Now, we do have some massive shoulder kibble, but again, it's accurate to what we saw in the show. The backpack, surprisingly, isn't too bad. I mean, honestly, Doesn't look that out of place. Like the leg design, and we kind of get what appears to be panel lining going around for the thighs in certain parts of this figure, so painted pretty decently. I'm not sure if this is how it came, or maybe the person I bought this from custom painted it, but really cool. And I mean, he's just so slender. Really like this. Now, he does have a few gimmicks. Like I said previously, he has a few built-in weapons, and basically you just push them and bang, it activates these magnets. Now, in the series, I'm certain he had this basically doubled, so we had one at the top and one at the bottom. This figure merely does just have one here at the top, which is a little shame, but it is the same here for this side, so you can have him using both of those magnets when in battle against the Decepticons. And we also do get a slot here for his EMP blaster, which again, I believe Lockdown steals from him when he's trying to rescue RC. So very cool. And plastic quality, I know that's the big old talk about Transformers toys now, but this guy feels dense. I mean, this thing doesn't feel like it's going to break. Definitely feels like it can withstand a couple of falls off a shelf. And articulation, I mean, it's what you would expect. Ratchet joints here at the shoulders, which is super cool. Decent posability. I mean, definitely not a brick. Is there waist rotation? No waist rotation, but not too bad. Of course, no ankle pivot due to the time that this thing came out, but all in all, a very nicely done looking figure. Now, as we jump into a comparison again, here we have that deluxe animated Ratchet alongside the Studio Series Voyager Ironhide. Now, I know it seems like I'm kind of hating on this guy, but trust me, I love it, especially if you've checked out my end of year Studio Series ranking video, but it is quite interesting to see how far we've came in terms of basically the shrinking of scale in Transformers. I mean, this at one point was our standard for Deluxe, and now this is kind of the standard for Voyager, and I mean, literally, there is a massive difference. I really do wonder in the next 10 years how Voyagers are going to look as far as the mainline goes and what kind of price they're going to be at. But in terms of engineering, of course, this thing is way more sophisticated. Do you know what I'd like to see? This type of plastic and the scale of these older figures, but with today's modern engineering and articulation. I think that truly would literally create almost borderline masterpiece figures. But yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting comparison. Now, a few things that this has which I find to be kind of annoying would be the heel spurs. Now, he does have a pair of heel spurs, but to be honest, they are pretty much useless. This guy, at least my copy, has some massive problems standing up. And the shoulder kibble, I mean, yeah, it's accurate to the animation, but if he were to use these shoulder joints, he'd literally bonk, smack himself in the head and probably knock himself out during battle, which is probably the reason why he got captured by Lockdown in the first place. And again, it would have been sick to have seen these kind of mirrored on the underside, so he could have had those dual magnets as seen on the show. But I mean, how cool was it to see spring-loaded gimmicks in a mainline Deluxe? I would die to see something like this with the modern Transformers line. But I mean, overall, the colour, the plastic, especially that plastic, it is so thick. Just everything about this guy is so awesome. I'm definitely going to try my best to track down some more animated figures. So there was basically my throwback look at this Transformers animated Deluxe Ratchet. Wasn't so much of a review, more of just kind of me looking at it and gushing over it. Really nicely done. Let me know down in the comment section below what old animated toys would you guys like me to try and pick up. I'm trying my best to get the likes of Optimus Prime and Megatron, you know, some of the big guys, and I love the way that leader Megatron in particular looks. So be sure to stay tuned to the channel. 2023, I'm definitely going to have some banging Transformers reviews going up, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course the bell notification. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.